G'day guys, Aaron here from Melbourne Muscular Therapies. Welcome to another edition of Fix It Yourself. Today we're going to be talking about the TFL, the Tensor Fascia Latae, okay? As my good mentor Ninja would say, they're the top of the fucking league. Anyway,
just so you can remember
slang
it.
For you there. Let's have a look. The muscle we're dealing with is this one right here, okay? So on the front lateral portion of the hip. So it's a big it's a big muscle, I'd say. Strong muscle. Commonly overactive though. So it's one that most of you out there that watch this video, you should be digging into, because I guarantee you're going to find some hot spots and you're going to get some good results too. Okay, so let's talk about what this muscle does. Primarily, it is a hip flexor. So it'll, the kicking motion, or think about running, it helps to drive that leg forward like this. It also is an internal rotator of the femur, like this, and it also helps out with a bit of abduction as well. Now, the reason why it is commonly overactive is just given the way that we live our lives, we sit quite a lot. The position of this muscle is near the hip crease line, so generally when we sit, it is in a shortened position. So it historically, throughout a course of a lifetime, it can be quite compressed and short if you're not getting out, running and moving as a human should, okay? Now, the reason why this can have long-lasting effects with biomechanics, if it is overactive, is because it inhibits a really important muscle, being the glute max. Okay, so if you think about if the TFL is a hip flexor and an internal rotator, the glute max is a hip extender and an external rotator. Okay, so if the TFL is tight and compressed, it's going to be causing issues with the muscle glute max, which you want to be, you want that muscle being optimal and performing well, okay? So let's talk a little bit about the further complications that this muscle has. So if we look at this chart, this in blue here, is that blue, Ninja?
Yep.
Colorblind.
Yep, D.
That is joining in to this yellow structure here, which is the ITB. And funnily enough, so does the glute max. It's pretty much exact counterpart, okay? So for you guys out there that can relate to classic ITB tension, if you've got that tension down the ITB that you always want to be getting into, you might be well inclined to actually get into the TFL first, because have a look at this. This is out of a cadaver, dead person. That's the that's the TFL there, and look at it. It joins right onto the ITB, so you can see that really thick white fascial band of the ITB, and the extension of that is the TFL. So if we can free up some of the compressed tissue here, you're going to have a long-standing effect, or a long-reaching effect going down the leg, which could possibly help with knee pain, ankle pain, and plenty more. So let's talk a little bit more about some other implications that compressed TFL will have. This is the skeleton, obviously, and this little bone right there, that's the ASIS. Now, you all out there can press on your own ASIS. It's that hip pointer bone right at the front of your hip, okay? So you'll be able to easily locate it. That's where the TFL attaches to, okay? So because the TFL can sometimes be short and tight, what happens is it starts to tug on that bone. And over time, if there's too much compression happening at the front here and too much weakness and lengthening at the back, it can start to tilt our pelvis down like that. And that's a pretty classic pattern of an anterior pelvic tilt. Okay? And from this position, flared rib cage, anterior tilt, hamstrings and glutes really long, core really long, back really compressed, okay? And that can lead to back pain. And then from this, it can lead to hamstring tears, knee pain, ankle pain, neck pain, the list goes on, okay? Another thing that it can have an effect on is, because it's an internal rotator of the femur, when you're moving as a human playing sport, an ACL, classic ACL pattern is that kind of motion there, okay? And so if your femur is always stuck in an internally rotated position and can't externally rotate properly, when you land, what could happen is, if you're stuck in that pattern, you're more inclined to maybe getting some big kind of catastrophic, tears in your ligaments or ruptures. So yeah, just another reason why it's, you should be pushing into these muscles to see if you can free them up, okay? So first things first, we're going to teach you guys how to use your hands and your own tools to push into these areas to see where your hot spots are, okay? So come over here, Ninj, pull me dax down there a little bit. That's that ASIS muscle. So we're pretty much just going to go a little bit out to the side and straight down, about there, okay? So let's just start to push into that muscle using our own thumb. Okay, so pushing in, guaranteed you'll be able to find some hot spots pretty much straight away through here, like right there. That's a cracker. Oh, you can push up into that bone. You can push down, come around to the side a little bit more, maybe hook into it from the back there. Maybe come directly from the front and just pin it even more. There's all sorts of things that you can be doing here, guys. So just to reiterate, you can't really do too much wrong. You're just pushing in and trying to free it up. The good thing about being in this seated position as well is that you can actually go into a little bit of hip flexion. You can go into a little bit of rotation as well to see if you can actively release that area. So just to show you on the skeleton, if this was me in this seated position here, tapping on that bone there, we're working in like this. Okay, so just pinning, holding, scooping down, all the way down to where it attaches onto the ITB, which is down there. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do today in terms of a release is grab our trusty lacrosse ball. Okay, cricket ball, hockey ball, whatever it may be. You should be able to find something around the house that you can do this with, even a golf ball. Okay, so we're going to lie down on top of this ball. So pretty much find that ASIS, and I'm just going to try and get a good angle for you guys there, and I'm just going to lie straight down like that. So I'm starting to pin the side portion of it, and I'm just going to let my body weight sink over that ball, and then I can just start to maneuver myself maybe a little bit more to the front. Oh, so you don't need much pressure here. It's just lightning straight away. And the good thing about this is you can feel the release happening in the leg almost instantaneous. You feel some referral going into the shin, into the top of the foot, down the thigh. It just feels really relieving. Okay, might just change up my force here a little bit so I can go a little bit more around to the front. So I'm just kind of shifting my body weight forward so I hit that more anterior portion of the TFL. That's really getting into it now. So I might be able to shift my weight down a little bit more. Yeah, that's right on it. Oh. So if you've got a really stringy TFL, really tight, it might take a while to really nestle into the area that you need to. You might be flicking over things. So it's important just to support your body weight, spread your weight out a little bit, just so you can regulate how much force you're putting onto these areas here. So just pinning, holding, might be able to shuffle around to the front even a little bit more. Oh, it's good. It's really relieving. Oh, so yeah, you could stay here for 20 minutes, guys. I've done releases on my TFL for literally 45 minutes sometimes, just working into this tissue, going around, maybe even go around into the side a little bit more, maybe up into the, yeah, that's even better. So there's all different portions you can be working into. And sometimes you might not even be on the TFL. You might have even kind of shuffled into glute min or one of the muscles on the outside of the hip, and that's fine. You just follow the pain. It's intelligent information, so wherever you go, you're guided by what you're feeling. So yeah, just follow it. Alrighty, so that's a really simple one to follow. And the next one I want you to show you is using the old trusty broomstick, okay? So we love doing releases where we are replicating the positions that we be in when we're performing, say, running, walking, or standing, whatever it may be, okay? So what we want to do is make sure we have an anchor point, digging it into the wall, and then got to be careful here, guys. You've got to use discretion because we want you to not, injure yourself, all right? So basically pin the area that you feel like you need it in, and then hold there. Oh, yeah. That's good. I'm kind of leaning my body weight on the broomstick here, and then just making sure it's nestling right up where I need it. Once you get pretty proficient at this too, you can actually probably do some little oscillations as well, little rotations. Just pin. Oh, that's good. Getting some good shakes out of that. Get a good view of that ninja there. So pinning right up into that bone that we spoke about. Maybe come around to the front a little bit more too. Yeah, that's good as well. Go over a little bit, compress it. Yeah, it's shortening it. That's getting it really good. Oh, boy. Come around to the side a little bit more, maybe. Oh, man, that is money. Oh, jeez. Yeah, you get the gist, guys. So that'd be my main two that I'd, or three, including the hands-on work that I'd be focusing on. Like I said, it has long-lasting effects. Always do this before you do corrective exercises, before you go train in the gym, before you go for a sprint or a run. And then that's how you can evaluate how effective these releases are. See if your glute's firing better, see if your hip feels more stable, see if you can do your corrective exercises with far more efficiency, okay? And also see if your pain's gone, okay? So yeah, good luck, comment, let us know how you go, and stay tuned for the next video. Okay, so come over here, Nens, let's have a look. I'll pull my trousers. Pull my trousers down a little bit.
Just a little bit. Not too much, brother.
Anyway, right there.
Yeah.
Can you hear that? That's me hitting that. That's hitting that bone.
Hitting your skeleton there, brother.